CARP ਦੇ ਸਾਊਥ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਚੈਪਟਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਟਾਊਨ ਹਾਲ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਆਯੋਜਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ, ਜਿਸ ਦਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਵੱਧ ਰਿਹਾ ਵਾਇਲੈਂਸ ਜੋ ਸਾਡੀ ਸੋਸਾਇਟੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਸੋਲੂਸ਼ਨਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਡਾਪਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ। ਪੈਨਲਿਸਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਕਿੱਤਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪ੍ਰਤੀਕਰਮ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਤੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਸੋਲੂਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਵਾਇਲੈਂਸ ਅਤੇ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਕਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ। ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ।
As we move forward, we're a rapidly growing city, and I've been an advocate for us maintaining our support to public safety to match the growth that's taking place. We have over 1,000 people a month that come to our community. We have a very vibrant, diverse community. We have more people under the age of 19 than any city in Canada. Our aging population also requires us to pay special attention to our seniors. अपने बुजुर्गों की जो पॉपुलेशन हम rapidly बढ़ रही है, वो सारी जिम्मेवारी बढ़ती है।
As a mother, साडा की रोल हैगा है, घर दे विच साडा की रोल हैगा है। आज साडी दौड़ लगी है पैसे पिछे, मैं भी करती, मैं भी उन्हां विचों ही। पर द डे साडे घर विच जो बच्चा जन्म लेना है, ते जिद्दन उन्हें वड्डा होके बाहर कुछ करना है, वो जिहड़ा सारा टाइम पीरियड है, वो इन्नी जल्दी साडे हाथ विचों निकल जाता है कि सानू सूरत भी नहीं है। ते बाद विच असीं ब्लेम गुरुद्वारियां नूं, कम्यूनिटी नूं, होर सारिआं नूं करदे हां। सानू ये याद ही भुल जांदा कि ये सारा कुछ असीं करना सी।
You know, we looked at the statistics, and the statistics state that, you know, property crimes have increased by 27%, business B&E by 25%. So we do have drops in the stats, but we do have a lot of increase in the stats and spikes. So what we want to look at is we want to look at what are these indicators of.
We have 4 priorities at the Transit Police, and they deal with making sure that we manage people with mental illness, disorders, and addictions. A large number of people that cause problems on public transit have some sort of mental illness, have some sort of addiction, or a disorder of some sort. They're typically, although there's a small number of people causing problems, of that small number of people, a large percentage have some sort of mental illness. So that's the first one of our priorities, is managing those people to the best of our ability. The second one is dealing with sexual offending. We know that on transit, the worst kept secret out there was the fact that there was sexual offending happening on public transit. And it was important for us to be able to take very proactive and a very strong stance against sexual offending on public transit.
9 out of 10 cases that I see come through my office, 9 out of 10 criminal cases that I see come through my office have some aspect of addiction or mental illness that is associated with them. I'm a firm believer that if we were, as a society, if we were really to look at this issue, if we really wanted to eradicate a vast majority of crime from our community, then we really have to address the issue of mental illness and addiction. And I think addiction more than anything else, especially in our community. A lot of the cases that I see in our community, cases of domestic assault, cases of property crime, petty theft, a lot of petty theft. You know, these are the majority of the crimes that occur in our society. I think sometimes things tend to get glamorized. You know, we see focus when focus is put on high-profile crimes. That's usually when the majority of the public comes out and addresses crime or has some sort of feedback on crime. But those crimes really make up a very small minority of the actual crimes that exist out there.
If you give any kid or any guy that's up on trial, you give him a reason to wiggle his way out, and he will. That's what you do, because when you know you're going to be doing time, you're going to find a way. When a lawyer says, "Oh, you know, you've been abused," yeah, you're right, I was. You know, that's my ticket out. But you know, I agree there are some mental health issue problems, but I think accountability for your own actions is much more important.
I've talked to so many families, so many people in our communities across the province, and they don't realize the tentacles of gang violence reach every single corner in every single community. It's true that the number of gang-related deaths have dropped dramatically in recent years, and that's a very good thing. But the sad reality here in British Columbia is that all of the deaths that we continue to have are preventable. And it's because of people like you going back into your communities, talking to your peers, talking to your social groups, and getting across the message that we need to be very active in our youth's lives. We have to be very active in our community in order for us to have an impact, a lasting impact on gangs and gang violence.
I've been a resident of Newton for 23 years. Our city is safe. We have to work together to continue that path. And it is about communities coming together and working together. It's not all about police. It's not all about the fire department. It's not all about ambulance, transit police. It's about working together, and everyone in this room has a responsibility to making sure that they participate.
I think there's a couple of things I want to talk about. One is the notion of liberty and responsibility. It's a continuum. And what's happened is when you have responsibility without liberty, we get into a totalitarian kind of a home environment, social environment. On the other hand, if we get into liberty without responsibility, we get into chaos. And my sense is, at this particular time in the South Asian community, the way is toward the liberty without responsibility.
It's easier for me to stand here and talk about my rights. What about my responsibilities?